thought I'd done them wrong then. Basically, I didn't have any hinges because I'm a child. It's a nice job out of the workshop done.
Big shout out to Michael. Right, good morning. It's Monday morning. My name's Matt. If you're a regular viewer, you'll hopefully, if you watched last week's video, which actually went down quite well, it's a dishwasher video. It's not my sort of thing I normally do, but I was sort of struggling for content, to be honest with you. Yeah, if you watch that video, hopefully you will have noticed the camera quality was slightly better. Don't know if the audio was, I've had a few issues there, but the camera quality was slightly better. Over the Christmas break, I managed to find an old GoPro that I got knocking around from a snowboarding trip years ago, and I managed to set all that up. I'm hoping to use that going forward, because I do film most of my stuff, to new viewers, I film most of my stuff off my phone. That also leads me into, at the moment, I'm filming off a dash cam, which I got sent by a subscriber. So big shout out to Michael. He asked me not to put his YouTube name, but you know, he's put his name in the letter for sending me this dash cam. The idea being, I mean, he might possibly be trying to improve my safety as well as the quality of the video, but either way, I'm hoping that I can just leave this set up all the time, and basically when I get in and out of the van I can just talk, because I lose a little bit of time getting into the workshop, you see, and chatting about what I'm going to do. I get in there, I have to get all my stuff sorted, then I'll start talking to the camera. Sometimes my phone's not charged, or I need it for a call or something. Anyway, hopefully you'll see an improvement. So this week, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put on the screen now, because also if you're new, this channel is not really about one job that I'm doing. Very, very rarely is it. I try and title the videos so you know that, but essentially it's just week whatever, you know, I'm doing. Sometimes you don't get stuff finished in a week, quite often. I've got quite a few little jobs coming up that I'm going to be on and off. So I'm going to put up on the screen now the jobs I've got coming up. So essentially there's a few sets of wardrobes on there, and this green oak porch, which has been going on, well, since just before Christmas really, and it predates from a really, really old video. But anyway, they've got to go out the workshop really within the next couple of weeks. So I've got the materials coming in this morning. Green oak porch is being booked in for fitting Thursday and Friday. Not that I think it would take that long, but and yeah, also on the screen now I'll put another little job, which again is I'm going to probably try and get that out in the next sort of 4 weeks probably. I haven't fully finalised that, but this job, that's an interesting one. That's from a subscriber as well, a chap called Eddie. He messaged me saying he follows the channel. Could I come and give him a quote? It's not why I did the YouTube stuff. Ironically, I did the YouTube stuff because I struggle with putting stuff on Instagram, because you've got to put finished photos up and stuff, and anytime you do, anyone that does this knows that 2 weeks work can sometimes just be one post, and you're trying to compete with people that have got gangs of people, or not even in your industry, someone making cakes or a coffee shop. I can do posts every day. I know I could be a bit clever about my posts, and they don't necessarily have to be linked to my work, to what I'm doing, you know, or just even, you know, sometimes people like to see the process. But I don't really feel like that was for Instagram. Also, Instagram's quite a good tool for getting work, and I very rarely do I need work. So I just sort of thought YouTube, be interesting to document what I do. Wasn't really a tool I designed to get me work. Anyway, waffle. I'm going to get into the workshop. Probably not going to pick you up until the materials come in and try and formulate a bit of a plan. I've got all my drawings with me, but I just need to tidy my office. I need to get the log burner up and whatnot. So I just thought I'd come on just to say, Monday morning, this is what I'm doing. Hopefully you'll see a quality improvement. Right, good morning. It's Tuesday morning, and I've got no delivery, which is a bit irritating. So yesterday was a bit of a waste. I went home early, actually did some drawings. So I'm just having a bit of a spring clean. I've cleaned out underneath all of there. I've got all these leftover bits of timber here, sapele, some tulip, some oak outside. I'm going to basically completely gut that rack now. There's hardly anything in it, and to be honest with you, I don't even know how much of that I really want. I'll just organise it. Cut some up for firewood, all little bits that I'm just never going to use. I've got all my rubbish from Christmas here, which I'll slowly get through, and some softwood left over, which is just basic, and same on there, just bits and bobs from
sort of when you're in someone's house, you might need a bit of CLS, or you might need, I don't know, it's just nice to have really. Obviously I did that bit of treated timber work before Christmas as well, so I've got some bits left over from that. Some posts, which I'll be able to, some offcuts, some posts, I thought ahead, you see. So those offcuts are actually going to be the right size for the decking that I've got to correct around that hot tub for where I built these jobs. So yeah, not much of a joinery job, but going to get it done. And then what I've done up here, office is a bit of a glorified name for it, but basically up here is where this is where I do all my work. Got my microwave, coffee maker, sandwich toaster. There is a kettle, but that's in the paint room because sometimes I put a tiny bit of warm water in the paint. Paint room's actually heated. This isn't heated, but and I've got a little tech deck ramp that me and my boy built a couple of years ago, and sometimes I just play around with that with little mini skateboards because I'm a child. And up here's warm, no heating, but it's actually warm because what's happening is the heat. I did have insulation cut in there, but yeah, it just kept irritating me. It kept like blowing out because it was just offcuts that weren't quite big enough. What I found out is the heat from the log burner, because I've got such high ceilings here, so all the heat from this log burner, which I knew was going to happen, is going straight up. So eventually I'm going to, as I've discussed on previous videos, if you knew eventually what I'm going to do, which I could be doing really today if I'd have gone and got the materials, but I thought I'd be getting my materials for a job. I'm going to build across there with another little mezzanine. I'm going to strengthen it with a bigger bit of timber across the front when it's all done. So I'm doing it in bits. And I'm going to build like a little lower level bit in here, put a proper floor on that up to there, build a little lower level bit, so there's a little alcove to keep the heat, and I might just bring it out a bit so the heat sort of deflects up and doesn't lose. The other thought was to put a false ceiling in at some point, but basically now what's happened is the heat is going all the way up to there and it's just travelling into the office. So I was up there yesterday and I was like, I'm roasting up here. It's just warm up there, it's lovely. But down here it's cold obviously because I've got the doors open. But yeah, it's nice to stuff. I mean, I'm never going to heat this whole space, especially because I always leave the door. I like to have fresh air, but it's nice just to walk over to it. It's dry and it's green okay as well. Yeah, it's nice just to walk over to it and just put your hands on it. Right, that's it really. So I'm going to tidy all this up. I might just give you a little run through at the end, unless my materials turn up in the next. It's about 11 o'clock now. If my materials turn up in the next couple of hours, I'll just jump straight on the wardrobes and I'll be able to get a bit of footage. If not, I don't know. But you know, this is really what this channel is, isn't it? It's sort of documenting that not every day is a full day for me, anyway. But when I'm actually working, I'm working. But yeah, got to do this. Right, speak to you in a bit. Might as well update you. A little bit of a disaster actually. Not sure how well that footage is going to turn out. Obviously you can see I haven't had a very good week thus far anyway. Basically I thought I'd done them wrong then. Right, basically all I've done is rebaited all these bits of timber. You can see, and I've put, that's about 22 mil rebate in the end, which I'll put a loose tongue in. I'm not going to domino those. Sometimes I domino them, sometimes I don't. To be honest with you, the dominoes on these cabinet doors, if you do this sort of loose tongue technique, there are videos out there, but they are basically really for alignment in my mind. It's not adding that much strength. This is what I did yesterday. Basically, I didn't have any hinges, so I made this little thing up. Works alright, doesn't it? Yeah. Problem I've had is anyone that does this sort of thing, you'll do this. There's a radiator in the room, and I've documented it, but I've got 2 measurements for it, and I'm now starting. And I went back to my original drawing, which is just a visual before I get the job, and I did draw the face frames a little bit bigger. It's only 15 mil that I'm chasing, but I'm paranoid now because I priced it so long ago. Did I draw the 15 mil extra? Because I'm making the face frames bigger to make the doors smaller, to when the door opens it clears this radiator. I knew it was tight when I measured it. I just need to go back to the house and just give it a quick measure. It's no drama, it's only down the road, but I'm just waiting for the lady to get back to me. So I thought, I am fitting this oak porch tomorrow, and I just thought I'd take it on the bench, because you get these sort of tanning marks, if you like, from where you've used tools and stuff on it, or just handled it. Air quality as well, all adds up when you got the green oak. So I've just taken some of that off, and I'm just marking them out now to cut the ends. I wasn't really sure how I was going to do it, but I think I've figured it out now. So I'm actually just going to cut those, load the van up really, and then go see this lady. Not been a very productive day, but I don't want to risk doing too much more at the moment. They're machined. If they're right, great, but I might have to reduce them and increase the face frame. The only problem is I've used the last of the 10-foot boards. I had 2 10-foot boards in because these are really tall wardrobes. I might have enough of offcuts to add to make more face frames up. We'll see. Anyway, porch tomorrow. Yeah, that should be a quite straightforward job. You know, I shouldn't say that, but the only problem with bloody porch is it's going onto a stone wall. But yeah, here's all the bits for it. Yeah, right, see you in the morning. Afternoon, it's Friday. So where we're at. Don't know what, like, I'll explain in a minute, but yeah. Just putting this glass in now with this glazing thing on. Yeah, I've had a few issues, as ever. Basically, I've covered that side up now, but this side, when I bolted it all to the wall, on the resin bolts, they failed. It was so cold, I had to wait like nearly 3 hours for it to go off. I started tightening them and they pulled out, so I had to redo it. But I couldn't, because it's like bolted in and tenoned on the bottom. I can't pull it out. And I was filming, rather than doing a time lapse, I was filming in stages, that sort of stage thing I do, but I film a bit, me cutting, film it. I was going to stitch it all together. But obviously most of my work was just sorting that out, letting the glue go off to find that it hadn't gone off, and then redoing it, and then worrying about tightening the bolts up at the end of the day. It has held, thankfully. And I broke the bloody gun, the sealant gun. So I had to go out and get another one. I had to borrow the customers, broke that because it was a cheapo, to go out and get another heavy duty one, broke that just to finish off. Yeah, and loads of little niggles, like I had to remove that light and all this, which I knew I was going to have to do because they're going to have new lights. It was just slightly in the way. I always knew that was the case, but all the fixings snapped on that. They'd all rusted. Everything was just going wrong. But yeah, I'm happy with how it looks. And a massive out of level issue as well, but I've sorted that. You can't see it now. If I try and you can probably just see the difference in the plate from the front and the back, little tiny, but actually, yeah, it's not, you can barely see it, but yeah, basically this is lower, but it's not out of level. It's just that them doors are out of level, so I've had to adjust that. So it's like the front is level, but the back, if I put the back in level, it looks terrible to that margin at the top and above the door. I just tweaked it, and yeah, that took a bit of time as well. I probably shouldn't have even done it, but I've done it. Which means the roof is a little bit up, but that won't notice. It's all slate. It'll be easy to get that right. Yeah, I just I'm not going to include the footage. I've already decided it's just too much to try and stitch together, and I didn't film today because I was up against it. It's now like 3:30 on a Friday. I've got to go out tonight. I'm supposed to be going up to Sheffield. So I'll do a finished shot of it, and that's me done for the week. Not a very good week, but at least this porch is out the door, and I can just crack on with the wardrobes next week. Right then, speak to you in a bit. That's it. It's been a nice job to do, to be fair. A little bit cold, but it's a nice job out of the workshop, done, gone, out the door. This is what I was talking about as well. I've got to put some, I don't know if I explained it, but I needed to put a pier when I built it, and basically I probably should have done the whole thing as a 9-inch wall, but there's not a lot of room here. and I had to put a pier on the end, and I didn't really think, because they're quite quirky, these customers, I thought I could just do like some sort of timber making good, if you like. There's the inside. We did all the, I don't know if I filmed all this. I'll go in there actually, but I did all this a few years ago. Anyway, distractions. Looks nice in there. I wish I was in there now. Yeah, basically, by the time you put any timber going round there, there's not a lot of weight, but there is still weight, and it's going down there. I just didn't want to put a join. If I put any sort of join there, sill join, it's just going to crack over time. So I've done it in a solid piece, like a 50mm piece on the bottom, and basically I'm going to put a squint brick there, I think, like a plinth brick, sorry, or a corner plinth brick. Yeah, just to soften that. That's all I've got to do really. Point it in. I've got to do the pointing anyway on the underside of the sill. Got to drill some drain holes now as well before I forget, before I put the stuff away. Yeah, terrible week filming wise, but I've actually done quite a lot of work. Probably why the filming's been bad. See you next week on the wardrobes. Apologies.